Hi, my name is Doug Windecker. I'm a QA product specialist here at Atlas Copco. We're going to go into QA Supervisor today and look at tool inspections. So let's go take a look.
Okay, so we're going to cover tool inspections in QA Supervisor. So I'm going to navigate over here to the left side and open up our inspection menu. And then definition is where we're going to go to create a new inspection. And then below definitions is working calendars, scheduling, and multi-steps. These are options or features within a definition or within an inspection when we create it. So we'll talk about a little bit of that when we create the inspection here. So one of the nice things about QA Supervisor software and the way the inspections are organized is they're organized by the factory structure. So right now I'm highlighting at the factory level. At Atlas Copco is my factory, and these are all the inspections I have in there. So when we're creating inspections, I want to encourage you to go down to the actual station line that we're talking about. So in this case, I have door line, and in door line, I have station number 4, and that's where I'm going to create this inspection. Doing so gives us some shortcuts. So in this case, we're going to create a tool inspection, and I know I have a tool assigned to this station number 4. If I created the inspection at the highest level, I would see all the tools in that list, and I would literally have to search it in the software, which is not a big deal, but it is a shortcut to go to the specific location where we want to create that inspection and then create it from there. So let's do that now. So if I go up here to the right hand side, I can add, and before I do that, actually just below here, look at this expiry period. This is part of the scheduling that I was referring to earlier. So this is part of these inspections are on a schedule, and they've all expired because this is my demo database, and some of them are on a pretty frequent schedule here. But anyway, let's add in a tool inspection. So I'm just going to put a name in here. I've already decided I'm going to do this, make this a CMCMK. So I put the name in of my inspection. It could be station number 4, tool test CMK, whatever. I can be very specific in the naming that regards. And the type of test we're talking about is, again, tool. So, but my other options underneath the inspections are joint, visual, and dimensional, and part by grouping. So we're going to focus in on the tool, and let's move forward with that. So tool to inspect. So if I have more than one tool in this station, I would see that by hitting the search button here, or the search option. So this is the ETV SR21 that I have applied into the station, into this joint, and I'm going to hit apply here, and that's going to add that in there. So the next thing we need to do at the bottom or down here is method. So what are we testing? We're talking about a tool check. I already named it CMCMK, so you can imagine what I'm going to choose. But our options are CMCMK, SPC tool, ISO 5393, and tool calibration. And the two at the bottom here are type of an ISO type standard for Europe, and this is for Asia. So VDI, VDE, and the JJF are something they use overseas. So, but I'm going to focus on the CMCMK. When I select that, it's going to open up some options down below what I need to fill in. If I were to choose tool calibration, these options would change, as you see. So we're going to focus in on CMCMK. So the method is CMCMK, and next thing I need to do is figure out the schedule. I don't have to fill out any kind of schedule, but the idea is we're going to do an annual or a semi-annual or something along those lines. I have some pre-canned or pre-scheduled definitions, scheduling by definition, let's say. So if I hit the search button here, you can see these are the ones that I have programmed in already. I have weekly, tool PM, I have quarterly, CMCMK. That's the one I'm going to choose right now. Again, you can see that I've defined it as every 3 months. And that's what I'm going to apply and hit that in there. If I needed to create a new one, I can hit the plus, and then we can go in and create a new schedule. Our other option for scheduling is down here with the Tools Net 8. And scheduling by tool usage or rundown is something we can do when we're connected to Tools Net 8. When QA Supervisor is looking at Tools Net 8 data and looking at the rundowns of a tool, we can actually schedule tools based on usage rather than a time. And I have one programmed in there now, and it's basically a tool calibration. I named it tool calibration, and I said every 150,000 cycles, if a tool's got this schedule in it, it would trigger a calibration event. So those are your options as far as scheduling. It's basically a calendar or based on usage. So the next thing we need to do is under parameters is target source. And this is important. So there's three options here, and the two at the top are the ones we're probably going to be most working with. And I want to talk about a position base, because position base is where I'm working from. I'm in station number 4. It's a door latch. Station number 4 has a joint configured around it. The joint itself for the station number 4 I have is a 10 newton meter target. So if I choose position base for my tool check, it's going to use that 10 newton meter joint information. It's going to use that target. It's going to use that upper and lower spec by default. Now, the other option is tool base. Tool base is based on the tool model. So if in this case my tool model is a 25 newton meter tool, it's going to say max capacity or max torque of this tool, 25 newton meters. That's my target torque, and that's what I'm going to test this tool at. So again, those are the two options that I think make more sense. And the bottom one is multi-steps, and that is for our Power Max and our Flex systems for doing calibrating or validating multiple steps of a program for maybe a fixture tool or something like that. So in this case, I'm going to choose position-based. And choosing position-based, I get the options underneath here for the joint. Now, the joint I have in this station is the one I was referring to, the 10 newton meter. And as I select that, it's going to use that information. So, and then number of samples with a CMCMK defaults to 30. We can change that. And then check type. I'm going to go for torque only in this case. And then measurement units. This software is defaulted to newton meters. This can be changed if we need to. I'm not going to choose a required transducer. Any transducer that I think is capable, I'm going to allow this inspection to be run with any transducer. So you can be very specific in a transducer if you want to. So the joint information that I was referring to has come in, and you can see it here. And if I toggle between, you can see there's my target and my plus minus percentage in this case. And you can see my upper and lower spec here. So these are all values that we can change if we need to. If we want to pull something a little bit different, we can change the default CM and CMK values here. Cycle start, cycle complete, these can be left at 0. If we leave them at 0, what's going to do is whatever transducer we're using, it's going to default to the min load of that transducer. So I'm going to leave that at 0 at this point. And at the bottom, we have operator guidance and assignable cause. So assignable cause is where we can add in, if we made an error or if there was a problem with our test, we can create a assignable cause list and a corrective action list. And then going back up here to operator guidance, this is where we can add pictures and put instructions in with this inspection. So if I hit the little plus here, I can go out and select, there's my station number 4. JPEG, I hit open, and now that picture is going to show up when we launch this inspection from our measuring device. And of course, we can put instructions underneath there. So now the last thing I need to do is hit save. And you can see that my tool test CMCMK is now part of my inspection list for this station, station number 4. So now the next step would be to add this inspection into a route. So it could be part of a CMCMK route, depending on what my route, how they're configured. So that's how we create a tool check, and you can see that the expiry period over there is 100% because we just created it and we haven't done any tests. But if we were to go out and perform this test and bring it back, we'd do our 30 rundowns, bring it back, this would go back to 0, and there would basically be a gauge of when it's going to be due next. All right, it's going to slowly fill back up, and as we close to our 3-month period, probably within a week or so, it's going to show at like 95% or something like that. So it's a very good visual that the software has where we are with our tests in there.
So in this video, we covered inspections within QA Supervisor software. If you have any further questions, contact your Atlas Copco rep, and thank you for watching.